So I am married with 2 kids, and my wife and I are both currently working from home while our kids are at daycare. I go to the gym to work out 45 minutes to an hour, 2 to 3 times per week on my lunch breaks. Recently, my wife has been telling me that I prioritize my workouts over her and that I need to change my priorities. I try to plan when I can work out with her versus when to do other things she wants me to do. But if I tell her I am planning to go work out, she will call me with something she wants me to do at that time. They expect me to drop my plan to work out for the day and will get angry whenever I don't. Staying active and fit is an important part of my lifestyle, even though I don't agree that it is my top priority. I feel that I am being reasonable whenever I try to plan my workouts and inform her what I'm doing and going to do, and don't feel that she respects my boundaries when I set at those plans. Am I the problem here? And to add a little bit more on top of that, and to give her as much voice as possible since she's not on the phone, my wife is currently in the process of studying for step 1 of her medical board exams, on top of being working full-time and being a mom of a 1 and a 3-year-old. So I don't want this to come off as she's being lazy and saying that, oh, you're not doing enough for me. She's going through a lot right now. So It is understandable that she would want me to do more at this point. So I guess my question is, am I the problem, or does she need to respect my boundaries, or is it a combination of both?
I mean, my first impulse is I can only imagine there's millions of women on this call wishing with all of their guts that their husband would prioritize their health and fitness like that. That tells me that this exercise can't be the issue. So back out 30,000 feet with me. Where else is she frustrated with you these days?
Ooh. Okay. So like I said at the beginning, I have ADD, so I have a tendency to forget things whenever I'm working at home.
Just go off. I don't care about ADD. I got it too. You and I both got we have to overcome. Okay.
Yes,
just right off the top of your head, where are other places where she's been frustrated with you lately?
Just taking care of the home a little bit more. Tell
me about that.
So, like I said, we both work from home. That's only been a recent thing over the last 5 or 6 months. So, whenever I was working at a clinic, I'm a physical therapist and a health coach. I was able to focus entirely on my work. I get very zoned in on my work whenever I'm doing it. And also my lunch break was kind of my time. So then I wouldn't go to the gym. I would use the suspension trainers and the lunch in an area in my gym. So for the longest time, I was able to just focus on my work and do my workouts whenever I was on my lunch break. Now being at home, I feel like there's kind of this expectation that not only am I going to do those 2 things, but I'm going to take care of the home a little bit more, and that things are going to be taken care of more whenever she gets home or is done with her studying.
Is there a possibility that, because you've mentioned it several times on this call already, is there a possibility that she gets home and sees how diligent and on top of your planning around exercise, your routine when you're going to the gym, how you communicate it, how great that is, but how the significant disparity between how you plan and operationalize and strategize that and the dishes and the kids' stuff and the laundry. And if I'm her, I'm wondering, my God, why won't you plan and operationalize diapers and stuff? And my guess is you go, oh, it's just my ADD. And she, as studying for her MCAT, is looking at you going, yeah, your ADD doesn't matter when you're pretty lasered in when it comes to your exercise routine and your time. Why can't you be as focused on making this house? Am I onto something there?
You are hitting it right on the dot. She has said pretty close to that many times.
Okay, so this has nothing to do with your exercise. This has to do with your wife looking at a whole list of things that need to be done, and she's going to med school. She knows that you need to exercise. She married a personal trainer, for God's sake. She knows exercise is important to you. That's great. But this conversation is not about workouts at lunch. Conversation is about you on Mondays or Sunday nights sit down and say, hey, I'm working out on these 3 days. And she knows you've planned chest and back and you've planned bro splits, whatever workout you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But our kids crap 14 times a day. We got a 1-year-old and you can't even plan. See what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And so I just don't think it has anything to do with working out. I think it has to do with her looking at you and saying, man, I wish me and the kids meant that much.
Mm.
And so let me ask you, as an ADD guy, why does that stuff fall down your priority list?
Let me think about that a sec.
Or let me say it this way. You get something, your body gets something by not planning that stuff. What are you getting?
Yes. I guess probably what it comes down to is just focus.
Nope.
Focus in on those other things. And
think about something deeper than that. Can I propose something just to save us time? Can I propose something? And I want you to be honest with me and tell me if I'm way off, okay?
Yes, sir.
And I am co-opting your story with a little bit of my own, okay? So that's just my bias. Just know that coming out.
Yes, sir.
You're a personal trainer. Did you go to grad school?
Well, I'm a physical therapist.
Physical therapist. Okay, so you did go to grad school. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you know a lot about how to heal people, don't you?
Yes, sir.
And people come to you when they're in pain, and you look at them and you make them feel still and at peace, and you say, you follow my plan and you're going to be okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There is some, for somebody whose mind is scattered, often on the other side of ADD is an extraordinary ability for compassion, especially in a moment. And my guess is your patients love you, don't they?
Yes, sir.
They love you. And I think it's the superpower of ADHD. For some reason, it allows people to laser on somebody and people feel seen and heard for the first time. I also want to bet that when you had kid number 1, then you had kid number 2 right after that, you didn't know what was going on in your own house. You didn't know how diapers work. You didn't know how to wipe the right direction. You didn't know how to warm up bottles or how long they took or how long pumping took or how tired your wife actually was. You didn't know any of that stuff. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
And so it's real easy for your house to start to feel like a failure factory. And you're a guy that went to graduate school. You help people for a living, and there's something incredibly shame-inducing when you don't even feel like you can help your own kids.
Yeah.
You don't even feel like you can help your own wife because she looks at you like, how do you not know that? And it's like, I don't know any of what's happening right here.
She has used that exact phrase many times before, and it is one of the most irritating things.
Right. Right. And in the same way, I'd never even entered my mind that a newborn poops 14 times a day. It didn't even enter my head. It also didn't enter my wife's mind that most people don't let teenage boys around their infants. And most teenage boys it's beat into our head, do not Google infant stuff. Right?
Yes, sir.
And so you get this weird moment where I need some help. I don't know how to help. I don't know what to do. But one thing you do know how to do is stay fit. One thing you do know how to do is double down on your clients. So most men, when they feel like their home is a failure factory, they double down on the only thing they have left to do, to contribute, which is work. And sometimes they add a second thing, and it's aesthetic. Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So here's the path is underneath all of this is I think you and your wife have to do, and let me tell you, dude, this could be the funnest, most amazing thing for your marriage. The marriage y'all had before you had 2 kids is over. It's over. The marriage you're about to have as she goes to med school will change monthly, if not semesterly, if not annually.
Mhm.
Building a new marriage can be the single funnest, most incredible adventure two people can go on forever. Like, what do you want sexually? What do you want support-wise? What do you want sleep-wise? What do you want exercise-wise? How can we both love each other in this new marriage? Because it's all new. We've never been married and had a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Mhm.
And so it takes intentionality and y'all backing out, and it's going to start with you. And I think you hold your wife's hands across the table and say, I need to just tell you, I haven't known what to do, and I'm sorry. I've been scared. I don't know how to tell you. I don't know how to make my own son stop crying. I don't know how to tell you. I don't know how to. I'm uncomfortable changing my daughter's diaper. And I know it sounds weird. I'm just uncomfortable with it. Or whatever things are going on in your mind.
Mhm.
And then ask your wife compassionately, will you teach me? And I know it's not sexy. I know it's not whatever, but will you teach me? And then you have to step up. And I don't care about whatever diagnosis you think you got. You got to step up and say, I made human beings. I got a wife going to med school for the next 7 years. I'm going to step up, and I am going to take this as seriously as I take helping somebody with recover from knee surgery. I'm going to learn this stuff. I'm going to take a class. I'm going to get online. I'm going to get Dr. Becky Kennedy's parenting class. I'm going to get on it, man. I'm going to learn how to do this stuff. And with competency, for the ADHD mind, with competency comes laser-like focus. Right?
Yes, sir.
Is this all ringing true? Is it fair?
It is. It is fair from what I'm hearing.
But I think it starts with you saying, just internalizing, this has nothing to do with your workout program, man.
Mm.
This has to do with your wife feeling like the squat rack that is your household is on her shoulders alone, and it's getting heavier and heavier and heavier.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And what adds on top of that is she's the one bringing in the primary income. She makes about twice what I am, so I can see how that would.
Is this the season to have a stay-at-home job where you're trying to launch a coaching business, an online coaching business off?
It's not my own business. I work for the VA here in Birmingham, so it's basically it's a continuation of the job that I had. It's just from home rather than at the office.
Okay. So here's a deeper, harder question that I don't want you to launch out with. But as you sit down and say, hey, I want to rebuild our marriage, and I want to start with foundation cornerstone brick number 1 by telling you I'm sorry. I haven't known what to do, and I've just doubled down on exercise and making money. I'm trying. And you're going to get a new level of focus and learning from me. But I'm going to ask you to teach me and walk alongside me because I don't know this stuff. And I know people listening to this are like, that's not an excuse. It is an excuse. People just don't know what they don't know what they don't know. On the other side, once y'all get into this conversation, and hopefully there's going to be tears, there's going to be shoulders drop, there's going to be a level of honesty that y'all haven't had in a while. I want you to ask her if she will create a roadmap to respect. Because what I'm hearing underneath everything is she's losing respect in you. I make more money than him. I'm more educated than him. I take care of more crap around this house than him. And that's a recipe for division. And I want you to give her a safe, welcome space to say, I need you to make more money while I'm in med school. And you say, okay, we're going to figure this out. Or I need you to be more present around the house. Done. We're going to figure that out. Does that make sense? Because you feel that, don't you?
I do, heavily.
And the only way you and I and many, many, many men know how to get respect is to go exercise. Or try to scroll the internet for ways to increase our income.
Yes, sir.
Is that fair?
Yes, it's very, very fair right now.
All right. So listen, 2 things. Number 1, you're not broken. What you're experiencing, what your home is experiencing is so common with a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. It's common with a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. It's common with 2 kids and one person's just been churning and churning and the other person is spinning and spinning. Y'all just going in different directions. These clear the deck conversations, shake the etch-a-sketch, like clear the deck. We get to build a new marriage. We're going to start from the floor up. And often these conversations start with, I'm sorry. They never start with, you didn't. They never start that. They start with, I'm sorry. Or, I'm going to change. I'm going to stop using the words ADD in my house. It's not an excuse. It's a context. It's not an excuse. And I'm going to learn so much about parenting that I will become a laser beam in this house. I'm going to learn so much about you, my wife, how much I love you. I'm going to become a laser beam in this house. I'm going to learn so much about what it's like to go to med school, and I will be the greatest support you ever had, because every day I'm going to ask you, how can I love you today? How can I love you this week? And now you're talking about entire transformation. And you're going to get something your body hasn't had probably in a long, long time. Whew, that's peace, brother. It's peace.